Hey everyone, in this video we're going to learn really just two things here. We're going to learn to navigate the room layout in Connect, and we'll also learn to navigate the buttons and features of our Connect room. Let's go ahead and log into Connect and see what this will look like. So here is our Connect layout. So when you log into Connect and you launch your room, this is what you will see on your end. So let's just start in the top right corner, sorry, the top left corner of this window, and run through each button and let you know what these buttons do and how they are used in the Connect room. First of all, in the top left corner, let's start with Meeting. Meeting, layouts, pods, and audio. You probably won't use these too often during your sessions on Connect because these are more or are the more advanced features of Connect. So like for instance, layouts. Layouts is where you can change the way that your screen is laid out or how it looks. So this entire view right here, all this that you see, this big box, this window over here, this video window, these two boxes, this is your layout. And you could use this button layouts to change the size of this box. You make this smaller, make this bigger, move these around and put your video down here, or add several video layout or video boxes. But you probably won't need to do that because this layout right here will do pretty much everything that you need it to do during your Connect session. So for instance, this box will allow you to share your screen and share PowerPoints and Prezis and images and files that you have stored on your desktop. You can have face-to-face interaction with your students with this layout. This layout will allow you to have breakout sessions so that your students can be in groups where they can work with each other in private chat rooms where they can see and hear each other. It'll allow you to have private text messaging with a student or with the entire classroom. So this Connect or this layout really does everything that you need in Connect. So you probably won't need to change the layout. The same thing with the meeting and the pods and the audio. You won't need to change any of that. So I recommend just not even going there. But if you want to change the way that this looks, then you can do that through the layouts and the pods features on Connect. So let's go on here to these four main buttons. You will use these often during your Connect session. The first button is your volume. Now you notice that this button is green and these three are white. That's because green means on and white means off. So right now my volume is on. This is the volume on my end. So this is how I hear my students. If you have your volume muted or your speaker turned off, then you won't be able to hear what's happening in your classroom. If your students are talking, then you won't be able to hear them because your volume is muted or turned off. Next button is your microphone. This is how your students hear you. So if this is turned off and you're talking, then they can't hear you. So in order to connect your microphone, you must of course go to Connect Audio. And you notice that now it's on, so it's green. Also, I can tell that it's recognizing my voice because there's I talk, the little lines on that microphone move, so I know that it's hearing me. The next button is your webcam, and of course this is where you can turn on and off your camera so that your students can see you in the class session. And we do that by starting our webcams. We'll dive into these buttons more during other videos where we show you how to, or I'll show you how to use these Connect features. This last button here is really used more by your students. So you probably won't use these too often during your Connect sessions. So your students during a class could click this button, which they have these same four buttons on their end as well. They could click this button to raise their hand. So if they have a question and they want to raise their hand, then they could click this and then you could call on that student. So I have John over here is in my class. I'm going to go to my other screen where I have Connect running as a student, and I'm going to raise John's hand so you see what this will look like. So John has this same button on the top of his window, and when he goes to raise his hand, you'll notice that I get this notice that somebody in the classroom has raised their hand, and also I see that it is John because of the icon next to his name. If I want to call on John, I can turn on his audio and listen to what John has to say, and then I can of course go here and turn off his audio. Also, there are options where students can tell you that, hey, you're not talking loud enough, or you're talking too loud. What you'll probably see students using most often is the raise hand feature and the step away feature. Raise hand, of course, means you have a question. Step away means that you have to, let's say, run to the restroom real quick, or go get some water because you're thirsty. So this is just letting you know that, hey, I'm not at my screen at this moment. I definitely recommend during your first Connect session, just those first few minutes, just make sure that your students are comfortable with all these buttons and pointing them out to them, and letting them know how to raise a hand or how to let you know that they have left their screen for a brief period of time. This main pane here is where you will share your screen. So if you want to share a PowerPoint or a Prezi or some other kind of media, then you can do that here by sharing your screen. Of course, we'll get into that feature later on. In the top right corner, this is your video. Once you start your webcam, this is where you will see your face, and you will see yourself as your students see you in the classroom. Of course, we will get into more about the webcams later in other videos, but just know that this section right here is where you will see yourself while you were talking and sharing with your class. It's also where you'll see other students if you choose to turn on their cameras so that they can talk to the class. This is where you will see them, and other students in your classroom will see them. This section is where you will see who is actually in the classroom. So as students sign on or sign into your classroom and join the class session, their names will populate on this list right here, and then you'll be able to see every student in the classroom. As this list grows, there will be a scroll bar on the side where you can scroll down and see everyone in the room. If you hover over somebody's name or click their name, you have some options. So you can start a chat with John. So if I click this button, then I can chat directly with John. If I choose to chat with the whole classroom, I can go here to the bottom to my chat box and type a note to the class. This is chatting, and let them know that that's how we do that. So the chat box goes to everyone. If you want to send a note to just one student, then you send a private chat. You can also turn on and off John's microphone and his video. Just know though that when you enable someone's microphone or their video, you're just basically inviting them to use that in the Connect classroom. That does not mean that they just automatically go live or we hear their voice right away. They still have to go on their end in their Connect window and turn on their camera and turn on their microphone. You're just giving them access, or you're giving them privileges to do that. So right now, by choosing to turn on John's microphone, I can see that now I've given him permission to do that. But you see that his icon and mine look differently because mine is live, and you can see that I'm actually talking. John's is still muted. He has not turned on his microphone on his end yet. Same thing with the video. I can turn that on and then give John access. He would have the same Start My Webcam button on his screen, and then once I take that away, that button will then go away on John's screen. Just above your student list, you have different views, okay? So you have your regular lecture view. This is what we are seeing right here. So this is where you can do lecture, you can do face-to-face interaction, you can ask questions of your students, they can answer questions, you can share your screen and share resources. The second button is the breakout room view, and this is a really exciting piece of Connect, which we will spend actually 2 videos talking really just about breakout rooms and how those work and how those can really enhance and strengthen your online class session with your students. But you can toggle back and forth between these 2 settings by just hitting that button, excuse me, and then you can of course add and delete breakout rooms and move students into those rooms. Again, we'll get into all of this in a later video. Just know that this is where you toggle back and forth between breakout room view and your regular room view, where you're just talking to your students and they're talking to you. And of course, at the bottom here, we already discussed our chat box. This is where you can talk to your students through text messages, and where they can also talk to the class as well. Hope this has been helpful. We have reviewed all of the buttons that you will probably use during your Connect session. In future videos, we will dive deeper into these buttons and figure out how to use them and how they can be used during our Connect sessions. Thank you.